people on the internet said, no, don't go to Yogyakarta. All right, our final day in Yogyakarta, and we have booked an adventure we're really excited about. As we've talked about before on this channel, we love to explore places using our feet. Sometimes we'll rent a car, and we also like to get on a bike. We have booked a bike tour that's not far from Yogyakarta, and we have some surprises in store. And I mean that for us. We don't know exactly what we're doing. Super excited, let's go get going. To the place. We didn't realize it yet, but this adventure would start and end with music. Every bike outing should be filled with music. And with that, we were off and biking down country roads. Never seen anything like these sculptures, the way that they're assembled from like raw pieces of wood like this to form statues. It's so cool. These statues are sold and shipped to other countries. Yeah. Me for scale. Yeah. That seems like it would cost an awful lot, but they were really cool. Soon we had left the village of Imogiri behind and were biking among the rice fields and the rain.
Another bicycling outing and more rain. It's our luck. It wouldn't be bicycling if it wasn't raining for us.
What is it?
Bill's finger for scale.
Bugs. Golden bugs. We call golden bugs because the color is like gold, and this is kind of bugs.
Why doesn't it fly away?
I don't know. He wants to eat me.
If you're gonna blow it that way. Don't blow it at me.
Now he's on it forever.
He's gonna eat your shoe.
Oh, he's attached to it.
Oh
Do you want to join to US?
The best way to dry off is just to ride fast, right?
Since we're now rain experts at bike tours, here's what you should know. Should you take a bike tour when you're in Indonesia, you can bring your rain jacket, but just plan on getting wet. And because of that, we do not recommend you wear tennis shoes. Bill's took 3 days to dry out the last time this happened to us. We are both wearing sandals today, so we know that we'll be able to wear our shoes tomorrow. We brought our raincoats, but we're still sopping wet. It is just part of the fun, and you just roll with it. Like us, if you don't have your motorcycle license, this is a fantastic way to see the countryside. You know, you move a little bit faster than walking, so you get to see more things when you're out and about, and the views are absolutely incredible. And we're learning so much about everything that we're passing, all of the fields.
You like to try?
I don't have the magic touch. And saying hello to all the locals that we passed. And we're even seeing some rice terraces that absolutely remind us of Bali, which I have to admit we did not expect to see on Java. So I'm so glad we came on this trip, even if I am drenched. This river serves as a dividing line between the village on this side of the river and the village on this side of the river. We have just taken a little break down at the river. There's a family playing behind us, swimming, and there's a fisherman upstream from us. And oh, it was so cool to watch him toss his net in a very traditional way of fishing. And I guess you could say that I was fishing for him to fish for fish.
We could have gone swimming here, but honestly, we're just starting to dry off, so that didn't sound too good.
I don't know, we're already drenched. Why not just go for it?
Oh, wow.
We touch by hand.
Wow.
Together.
And what do you call these?
Mimosha.
Mimosha?
Okay.
Fantastic. We're just here at this lovely bridge in this just serene river valley. We're very close to Yogyakarta, but
It feels a world apart, honestly.
Yeah.
And the bridge that we're standing on is one of the coolest bridges to find in what feels like the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful.
bloody hell. So that hill was a case of it's really hard to carry a GoPro and pump up a hill at the same time. At least that's what I'm going to go with. It's a lot to coordinate.
I gotta wave. I think she would have said hello if she wasn't wearing a mask. Oh, we are losing our light a little bit. I just want to say how nice of a bike ride this has been. You know, we've biked through a couple of different villages and our guide says hi to everybody. And all we have to do is smile at them and they smile back. We call it hello, they call it hello back to us.
Hello. I couldn't high five the guy with the GoPro. It would be kind of rude, I think.
I had a really hard hill I was trying to make it up, and this really cute old toothless guy was cheering me on. And it was pretty amazing. Somebody just went by and nodded a hello and gave me a smile, and seriously, they are so friendly. Everybody smiles and says hello. I mean, we think we have Minnesota nice back home where you're all nice to everybody. No, here is where it's at. This is just a completely different side of Java. It's very different than Yogyakarta. We really aren't far from it, but it feels like we are so much further. And getting to go through these tiny villages and see people hanging out in their houses and maybe they're gardening, doing their laundry, playing with their kids. It has really been just a fantastic afternoon. I'm so glad we did this. Also, these ramblings are what happens when Bill's flying his drone. They asked him on behalf of the community to do a drone video for them of an area where they're hoping to build a cafe and a parking lot to benefit the community, and all of the proceeds from it will go back to the community. Of course, Bill said yes, so he's back there flying it right now, and hopefully by the time this video comes out, they're in the process of getting that approved. So good luck, guys.
Ramadan.
Ramadan. Fasting 1 day. Finally, we drink aqua.
So these guys during Ramadan were nice enough to take us around. I knew that they couldn't eat food, which is why they wanted to do it in the afternoon, closer to sunset. So I understand that. I didn't know they couldn't have water. So the moment sunset happened and the call to prayer happened, they immediately drank a ton of water. It was by no means a strenuous bicycle outing. Bloody hell. But in this heat, I would definitely want water. Amazing that they do that. It means?
It means slow. Slow people. Take easy.
Take it easy.
Calm down. Take easy.
I like it.
You like it?
Hello.
We had dinner on the front porch, enjoying the sounds of fireworks and calls to prayer. We happened to be in Java for the final day of Ramadan, and our bike guide asked us if we wanted to watch the celebration. Now, that is something we couldn't turn down. We followed him down the road, not quite knowing what to expect. And what we found was all the villagers gathered around for a parade, and the fun festival-like atmosphere was contagious. Once they realized we were native English speakers, young kids were pushed toward us and encouraged to practice their English. And my heart grew 2 sizes.
My name is Batar. My name is Heather. My name is Aisha. Aisha? Yes. My name is Heather. Good to meet you.
Then groups of women came over to take pictures with us. We couldn't stop smiling and laughing with them, especially when we tried saying you're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome. Sami. Wow, Sami.
Next, they lined up for their Takbiran parade, where they would march from village to village. Other townspeople joined them along the way while praising Allah through chants that frankly got stuck in our head for days. We honestly could not believe our good fortune to be welcomed so warmly during the celebration. Our drive back to the hotel took so much longer due to the parades everywhere, and we stared out the car's window in wonder. How could we leave this friendly and welcoming community tomorrow? It turned out the bike tour had connected us to Indonesia in ways that we hadn't been able to imagine. We were researching whether to come to Yogyakarta during Ramadan, knowing it's a very Muslim location. We were a little bit nervous. Frankly, people on the internet said no. Don't go to Yogyakarta during Ramadan. There's nothing to do, you won't find food. And we found the opposite to be true. It took us a few days, but once we saw past all of that, we really connected with the people here in Yogyakarta. We found the people of Yogyakarta to be so friendly and smiley, and honestly, they were just as curious about us as we were about them. We loved going out into the village and meeting and greeting people as we bicycled through. Breaking fast with the local Muslims in the evening was a fun tradition. We waited about an hour so they all could eat first since they hadn't eaten all day. As officially the spiciest thing I've ever had in my life. I'm gonna slurp a bunch of noodles on camera, here we go. But then it was a very party-like atmosphere, and that allowed us to get to fall in love with the city just a little bit more. This was a fantastic city, and I have to say, it was worth it. We think that if you come to Indonesia and you only visit Bali, you are absolutely missing out on more of what Indonesia has to offer. We've only scratched the surface. I guess we'll have to come back. See you next time.